Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. So let's just dive in and let's start off with this chart. So, you guys could probably tell that I am sick. I do apologize if I do sound a bit rough and I sound, pretty bad. I don't know. I just apologize for it. But I will be back and I will soon not sound like I am basically dying. But nonetheless, when we actually look at the price chart for QNT, we were really kind of looking at some of the prices on the chart, really kind of watching this breakdown kind of start on QNT. A lot of people believe that we will bounce off of $140. Some people think that it might be 136, somewhere within this range. That's totally fine. But I outlined why I do believe that we will see this $60 to $70 range, possibly even in the $80 range. And a lot of people did not like that, which is expected. I mean, listen, I make videos every single day on Q&T, and people were calling me out for it. It's totally fine. I get it. In fact, individual named Mike Plavier. I hope that I'm saying that name right. It doesn't really matter to me, honestly. But we do see, he's saying, aren't you the guy posting bullish videos every 24 hours? Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm extremely bullish on Q&T. Doesn't mean that I can't be bearish short term. I think that a lot of people confuse short term to long term and the viewpoints on that. I've been bearish ever since this move back here on Q&T. I've told you guys, price chart wise, been bearish on it. Fundamentals, things unfolding, I'm always going to be bullish on Q&T. That's never going to change on this channel. Now, with all of that in mind, talking about some bullish things happening around Q&T, we have seen so many big announcements in just the last week around Q&T. It doesn't mean that we have to pump. The biggest thing that I've been looking at is this $157 range turning into resistance, which it looks like it is doing so right now. On the one-day span, we could actually kind of see this building out under that resistance zone, as you guys do see. And also, when we look at the on-balance volume, it is slightly decreasing day in and day out. And it has been decreasing since going back to October 17th. So this chart is actually very bearish to me, and we outline that. But it doesn't mean that fundamentals and the long-term vision behind Q&T are extremely bearish. Just to give you guys a quick insight. In fact, I read this over here real quick before we get into the real juiciness stuff from Quantosaurus NL. It was Q&T estimation 2019, and this was talking about Q&T by 2030 to 2031, facilitating around $20 trillion transactions annually. So $20 trillion in transactions per year, or I should say just 20 trillion transactions, not $20 trillion. I was looking at the $13,000 range. I'm just like, okay, yeah, probably 20 trillion. But it's talking about how Overledger will be facilitating around 20 trillion transactions per year, and the market cap will be around $190 billion. This implies Q&T is massively undervalued at the moment, as the current discount expected. And we do see $13,000 per token is being predicted by 2030-2031. Now, I've actually said that the price of Q&T could be much higher by 2030. I think the 8-year span on Q&T, we are going to see a lot of ups and downs, but one thing is for certain, to me personally, I do believe that we will see a lot of up. I've always compared Q&T to Bitcoin, and a lot of people are probably going to say, well, then why would you even wait for under $100? It's about capitalizing on my dollar. You guys don't need to follow me. Listen, if you think Q&T is undervalued right now, you could average in if you want, but my buy zone is down here, and it has been down there. Why? I've already accumulated. I've seen so many people saying, oh wow, he's bearish now because he sold, or oh, he's bearish now because he missed out on buying a lot more. It's just like idiotic statements. Listen, I don't need to buy any more Q&T. I don't really care to buy any more Q&T. Why? Because I've already positioned myself long term. You got to remember, I've been accumulating Q&T since going back to the summer of 2021. So I've been accumulating this token for well over 1 year. I am set for whatever price comes at us by 2030. But do I want to buy more Q&T? 100%. But am I going to buy an altcoin, okay, I'm not saying that this is like the superior god token or anything like that, which I've seen a lot of people claim. I'm not going to buy a token that is 470% up at the current price, still 296% up from its bear market bottom. Why would I buy something like that when I could buy other tokens that are extremely undervalued? And I'm not saying that QNT isn't undervalued. I'm just saying that I could get I could buy a token that's still swimming down in the depths of the summertime lows that have yet to break out like QNT has. It's just, realistic figures. But with all of this in mind, I do think that QNT is going to be extremely large long term. I want to buy a lot more QNT. I'm just not going to buy it while it's pumped up, and I do see this effect happen a lot. Even Chainlink. Link was a big token during 2021 and the summer of 2020. Going all the way back to 2020, we seen Link collapse, even though Bitcoin didn't. A lot of people think that Bitcoin needs to be $10,000 per token in order to see QNT at 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, whatever dollar figure amount. But the truth is that we don't need to see Bitcoin collapse at all in order to see those prices. Very similar to Link during 2020. But nonetheless, we do see over here from Sun NL11 Fire, 370 million euros bond issued on SDX. SDX true pioneers and miles ahead. Six is tokenizing trillions of dollars of assets coming decade and putting it all on the SDX exchange. QNT provides them interoperability in about everything they do, RTGS, CBDC, and stuff like bonds. And here are some of the screenshots here, which I have a lot more around this, by the way, here in a second. So UBS issued a 375 million CHF, aka equivalent to $370 million digital bond on the 6 digital exchange, SDX Global. 100% digital, but listed on 6 plus SDX and can be traded without blockchain access. Very interesting. And we do see over here, what do you think it'll take for blockchain interoperability? Read our view and let's discuss. Tech advanced like QNT. 2,263 votes, by the way. 89.1%. That's crazy. And then over here, we do see the solution. Quant provides an answer. Bond issuance is down here as a big thing that they facilitate, as well as the asset tokenization and fractionalization. This is talking about seamless interoperability at scale between both permission and permissionless blockchains. Like, this is the perfect platform for these major players. And down here, we do see Meet, SDX, Quant Network, QNT, and Super Oracles at the Future of Finance event and deep dive into the topic of security tokens, their use cases for blockchain technology, and how they can transform the economics and operating model of the securities industry. And we just talked about this, by the way, because this was back in October. So very, very interesting. Again, this is why I talk about QNT every single day. Every single day, something big is happening. Listen. You can call it clickbait, call it whatever you want. At the end of the day, listen, I'm going to be talking about QNT every day, no matter if it's trading at $10 a token, $1 a token, $100 a token, $100,000 a token. I'm going to be talking about it. Why? Because this thing is absolutely massive. This is why I can't wait to capitalize on QNT on the low, if we do see them. Because listen, is this guaranteed? No, absolutely not. We can come down as low as like $140, and all of a sudden, boom, we're at $500. And anything is possible in this market. It's extremely volatile. But we also do see over here from Greg Lunt 27, breaking SDX Global issues the first ever digital bond via UBS that settles across blockchain and traditional exchanges simultaneously. SDX is using QNT to lead the way in emerging the $120 trillion legacy bond market with new DLT infrastructure. The future is now. And yeah, here you guys have it. We just recently talked about this, but publicly traded and settled on both blockchain-based and traditional exchanges. It will be issued out on blockchain-based platform of 6 digital exchange while being dual listed and traded on SDX and 6 Swiss exchange. And then over here in the other screenshot, we do see that the digital bond settles via 6 digital exchange, distributed ledger-based central securities depository (CSD) network through atomic settlement token or technology. Sorry. And then down here, we have a quoted tweet. This goes all the way back to, I want to say, yeah, October 20th. For the second time in 2 months, Gilbert Verdian has been invited to speak alongside SDX Global, the world's first fully regulated digital asset exchange. It's also the second time SDX has deliberatively tweeted QNT rather than just tagging the company. SDX defines Quampy. And that was the tweet that I mentioned. And then this is also some of the panelists at the QuarterCon of September 27th, which we talked about as well. Are traditional finance and DeFi on course for convergence or collision? Notice how, and also real quick, and this is not me being ego or anything like that, but just notice the fact that when I look at things like this and I'm like, okay, yeah, we talked about this back in September. That's the beauty of talking about Q&T every single day, is that I stay on top of everything. I'm not here to constantly upload videos for nothing. I'm here to give you guys the scoop on what's happening day in and day out to make sure that you guys are up to date as well. That way, you don't need to, scour the internet and look for these things. First off, it's also very beneficial to save you time. I'm providing you guys with this information that you could easily find as well yourself, granted, but I'm saving you guys the time and the effort of doing it myself as well. And also, all of these other individuals that are constantly posting this incredible content over on Twitter as well definitely deserve a follow. And I definitely think that you guys should go check them out. And then also over here, never saw the slide before. Again, from Son NL11. This is Q&T, and this is also quoting Born Quampy. This goes back to November 8th of 2021. This was with LAC Chain. Check out all of the value recognition sponsors here. So these are some big names, honestly. But this is, of course, around blockchain and its power to impact on inclusion with LAC Chain. You see some of the large names in the game around this, and of course, Quant is labeled right over here. It really is exciting. Listen, having Quant's name next to some of these large names. By the way, IO Builders, we've talked about IO Builders in the past, talking about their connection to Hedera. There's a lot of connections here. And yeah, I mean, it's very exciting. We are definitely seeing one of the largest transformations in finance as well as technology. And being a part of it is definitely very exciting. And I think that everyone that is a part of this market, everyone that is looking at Q&T right now is going to be celebrating some incredible times ahead. Like I said, what could Q&T do by the end of the year? Anything is possible. I definitely am looking at the 42, roughly $70, $80 range. Anything below $100 is honestly incredible. And we actually do see a lot of people saying, like, Q&T under $100 is astronomically unlikely. Everyone's idea is the same around that, which is totally okay. It's fine. I remember when people were screaming that Bitcoin was never going below $20,000 because it would break everything. And look at what ended up happening to Bitcoin. So nothing is impossible in this market. Never say never. Who am I? Justin Bieber? But no, seriously, never say never because anything is possible in crypto. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.